go.
Hey, what's going on, you ball lovers? It's Brody with Couch Potato Hoops, bringing you another video. And today we're obviously not in my regular setup. We're traveling for Christmas up in Dallas. But with that said, I still wanted to get a video out just talking about some of the amazing games that we witnessed on Christmas. Obviously, we got to see the Denver Nuggets. We got to see Nikola Jokic really show why he's the greatest player in the world right now. He had a, 55, 16, and 15 game on unreal efficiency, which was just absolutely historic numbers. And it's so interesting because he's been this player like that it feels like we should have always known. He always had the skilled big ability. He always had exceptional passing. Even in his rookie season, there were just flashes of him being a superstar. And I think my favorite thing about Jokic has been that even since the conversations surrounding him being like an elite big, an elite player, and being like considered one of the best offensive machines that we've ever seen in the entirety of the NBA, he's continued to get better. He's continued to add more to his bag. His passing has been elite out of the gate. Like, he's been an amazing passer since then, and it's just more so been more volume in that area. But then you take a look at like his scoring, and it's so interesting because I remember when they had made the playoffs. I think it might have been his first MVP season or something like that, where literally Draymond Green said, like, okay, Jokic is probably going to average like a 40-point triple-double against us, but we're going to have to try our best to stop everyone outside of him, because there's no stopping Jokic. And honestly, I feel like that was the moment when I witnessed like Jokic just turn it up and turn into a transcendent superstar, an all-time great superstar. Before, he was one of the greatest players in the league. There's still this debate between him and Embiid and stuff like that, but like Jokic has transcended from he's a great player to wow, he may end up being in top 10 conversations before his career is even said and done. Now, it isn't just Jokic doing it on the Nuggets this year. Honestly, everybody's being pretty exceptional. Aaron Gordon has just been doing a lot more on the court. He's been creating for himself a lot more than we're used to, which has been really exciting. I loved AG when he was on the Magic. He was very fun, creation-oriented forward. And obviously, we lost some of that, but he has been playing to his strengths here in Denver. But luckily we are getting to see him like get into his bag a little bit and show that he does have another level to his game. And then finally, like Jamal Murray, I don't know what he did in this game. I didn't really pay much attention to it. But overall this season, he has been looking like an all-star, and he's been looking like what everybody wanted him to be. And I remember Jamal Murray, he had always been one of my favorite players. I was the type of person, I loved the Damian Lillards, the Zach LaVines, I love Donovan Mitchell a lot. I love these guys that are, and then Jamal Murray was in that category, especially right before that playoff run where he was dropping like 40 balls on the Lakers and doing the 360 layup and all this beautiful, amazing stuff. I really fell in love with Jamal Murray's game, being this like he's a 6'4", 6'5" shot creating guard. He has a nasty handle, super elite shot maker and shot taker, and seemed to have every trick in the book. And then at that time, he was also this elite athlete that could give you a highlight at any time. But yeah, overall, the Nuggets, like, they look like a true contender. They look like somebody who can demolish the Oklahoma City Thunder if the cards fall in the right area, especially because they have like the size, the strength, and the rebounding to compete with them, I think. And the Oklahoma City Thunder have been looking a lot more human recently, and a lot of that is due to who we're going to talk about next, which, if you know anything about me, I'm a massive Spurs fan. I've loved the San Antonio Spurs for a long time. I loved their history. I loved the Euro ball that they played before a lot of passing, a lot of cutting, a lot of screening, just a lot of smart plays. Not necessarily elite players outside of their fives. Their five men have been great. But just a collection of really good pieces that know their role and exceed really well at their role. And then that's been the story, I feel like, of this Spurs team, is that it is a collective of really talented and really great players. And because there are so many different playmakers on this Spurs team, we're getting to see just such an interesting form of Spurs basketball. When you have the option to put out a lot of elite playmakers on a court, you can put on this Spurs team, you can put three playmakers, excluding Wemby, three high-level playmaking players that are also high-level defenders. Now, obviously, they struggle with shooting. Dylan Harper is, he projects to be a good shooter in my opinion. Like, the mid-range looks great, free throws look solid. It's just extending that range to the three-point arc is something he's going to have to continue to work on. And then Stephon Castle, man, he is already showing progression and a willingness to shoot, and that's the thing that matters most. Like, even Wemby early on, like, the percentages were but you saw the potential there, and the fact that he was willing to have a season where he was chucking 10 a game really showed that, like, the Spurs, they will throw someone in the fire if they want to be there, and all I've seen from Stephon Castle is that he wants to be there. He wants to be in the fire, and he wants to develop. Now, in this game specifically, it was the tale of De'Aaron Fox and Wembanyama, and even Stephon Castle did have a very good game. And it's just so interesting because I feel like when any team plays against Victor Wembanyama, he creates in them a habit of settling for shots, a habit of floaters and mid-range shots, and we're going to try to work our way around the perimeter, which, I understand it. I understand that's the only way that you can really hopefully overcome his size and length and his rim presence is by relying on those outside shots. But when you're not taking rim shots, when you're not getting as many fouls as you would normally be getting because you're not driving hard to the rim, then that's when you're going to have issues as a team, because the Spurs are also such a dominant paint team, and I think what was most exciting about this game for me was getting to see De'Aaron Fox have a really nice game. He had 29 points in this one, and I think J-Dub even talked about it, where, what did they do wrong? They just didn't contain De'Aaron Fox. And some of it was also that OKC, they got good looks when they played into their system. Mark Dagnall talked about this, where, like, OKC, they did well when they played in their system, but down the stretch, they started doing these Hail Mary plays where the players took it into their own hands a little bit too much rather than sticking to the game plan. Now, the Spurs did just play elite defense, elite perimeter defense, elite paint defense, which is difficult to overcome because they really swarmed them, and they swarmed passing lanes, and it seemed like they were timing things perfectly to cut off passes, making really instinctual plays. And I think that what allows you to do that and allows you to feel safe to make these instinctual, like, I'm going to go after this, I'm going to be more aggressive in the passing lanes, is that you have Victor Wembanyama there to clean everything up just in case, So ultimately, like, a lot of people have been saying, like, the Spurs are the kryptonite to the Oklahoma City Thunder's Superman. Now, I don't know if I would say the Oklahoma City Thunder is Superman just because of them clearly being the villain of the NBA right now, but yeah, ultimately, I really agree with that sentiment. I think the Spurs are a lot more ready than I initially thought, even as a fan. I still thought, they're a year away, but honestly, what they've been showing me is that, this Oklahoma City Thunder team is a lot more human than we thought, a lot more of a beatable team than we initially thought, especially if you have an Elite Five. And nowadays, like, their biggest threats are teams with these Elite Fives. When we're talking about Victor Wembanyama, we're talking about, Nikola Jokic, and these are just centers that are in the West. And then we're also talking about Şengün, who may be, less elite, but the team that's around Şengün and the mismatch threat that Şengün is really does make it that much more difficult for the Oklahoma City Thunder to be dominant. A couple more things that I realized was that Isaiah Hartenstein was settling a lot for these jump floats. They were going in. He was doing really well. He was efficient, and that's a shot that he's good at, and that's what makes him such a good center and such a skilled big. But he was settling for that whether Wemby was in there or Luke Kornet. And I just want to sing Luke Kornet's praises real quick. Luke Kornet has been phenomenal when holding down the paint as a 5. He has been stopping. He's been increasing the floor of the Spurs defense. That's what a lot of people talked about. I think Hoop Venue mentioned that in one of his early on videos. He really called the Spurs early on, I feel like. Just he increases the floor of their defense, makes them a really good regular season team, and makes it to where, they're never going to have bad center minutes. And I'm glad that the Spurs have this long contract on Luke Kornet because he looks awesome. I love Luke Kornet. I love his personality, and what he brings on the court has just been really excellent. And he brings a fire, and the two-man game between him and Dylan Harper has been so fun off the bench. So I've been really enjoying that. And the Spurs look great. OKC has some things that they need to polish up on, especially being that they're still a very young team. They have championship experience now, but they're young guys that I know sometimes you can still get caught up in, oh, well, I'm great, so I need to project my greatness upon the game, And I think they just need to continue listening to their coach. They seem like really smart young guys, and they are going to be formidable for years to come. And they're still they're still everybody's favorite. My favorite is probably the Nuggets. I like the Nuggets, and I have more players that I enjoy on them. Finally, I just wanted to mention the Knicks-Cavs game, man. That was so exciting. I had moments when I was watching the ending of that game where I was just like so hyped and like, oh my gosh, Donovan Mitchell hits another one. Oh my god, what the heck kind of three was that? Like at the end, it was just so insane how Donovan Mitchell like shoots this shot. You're like, oh my gosh, you're the only one on this team that has any business shooting a shot like that. But even you like don't have any business shooting a shot like that. So I was just really impressed with them. I was impressed with Darius Garland. He did have 4 turnovers, but I think he had like 20 and 10 or something like that. And yeah, I was impressed by him. I think he still might be more of a trade chip than anything. But then also Donovan Mitchell, because he's come into his own as a playmaker, and he had this crazy like little flip past to Evan Mobley, who was very dominant on the interior of this game. I don't know. It was just an exciting game. I do love this Cavs team, and I think there's a way to make it work. But I also think that DG might be a piece that has to move on so that they can just get more size, more defense, and more of like a shot creating wing or something like that, which I know is not easy to come by, but I think that would be a good thing for them. And then the Knicks were just, Jalen Brunson is a man amongst boys. He is a dog when it comes to that fourth quarter. The last 2 minutes is his. It feels like I'm watching Dame Time reincarnate, Oh my gosh, I think somebody called it Dome Time because Jalen Brunson has a big head or whatever, which I think is hilarious, but I don't want that to stick just for his sake. Yeah, the Knicks looked great. Mikal Bridges defensively, man, I always forget. Because of that year in Brooklyn where he broke out offensively, I always forget how elite a defender Mikal Bridges is and how on any possession he can like just turn the tides as a wing, And then they also have OG Anunoby. They had these two like totally different looks defensively, but they're like averaging the same amount of points, same efficiency and all that. It's just so interesting seeing two wings that are so different but also provide such similar things in the NBA. And then Mitchell Robinson, didn't really pay attention much to him, but Jared Allen was kind of going at him, and whenever he's doing that, I guess that's not a good thing. But and then obviously the story of this game was like Tyler Kolek really came up big in the fourth quarter and just did a lot of impressive things. Yeah, but overall, man, we got some really exciting Christmas basketball. I had a lot of fun watching it. Anyways, that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, I've been really enjoying basketball. If you want to continue talking basketball, I would love it if you join me down in the comments below. If you enjoy this style of content or enjoy just videos in general, I would love for you to go click subscribe, drop a like as it helps the video. And anyways, I hope you all have a great rest of your day and a great Christmas and a great New Year's as well. So peace. Bye.